Welcome back to the deep dive. I want to try something a little different to kick things off today. I need you to surrender your imagination to me for just a moment. We are in a studio. We aren't in your car or your living room.
We're going somewhere specific.
Very specific. Close your eyes or, keep them open if you have to. And picture this. We are standing on the edge of a rooftop in a sprawling, neon dark, cyberpunk metropolis. It's always night here.
Okay.
There's rain slicking the black asphalt streets way, way down below, reflecting these like pink and blue neon signs that buzz and flicker. The air just hums with that heavy, cinematic, synthwave atmosphere.
I can see it. It's gritty. It's noir. But looking around this simulation, the inhabitants aren't human.
No. This is the twist. The actors for today's deep dive are stitched stuffed bunnies. But I don't want you to picture the cute, fluffy kind you buy for Easter. Think more discarded toy aesthetic.
Oh, okay.
Gritty, worn-out gray fabric. You can see the heavy, crude stitching holding their limbs together. Instead of eyes, they have those black thread X stitches, voodoo doll style.
It's a very specific vibe. A little bit creepy, a little bit tragic.
Exactly. And it fits perfectly because we are about to unpack something unexpectedly dark using these stitched-up avatars. We are conducting a psychological autopsy of the Lego Batman movie.
Which, on the surface, sounds ridiculous. I mean, we are dedicating our time to a movie designed to sell plastic bricks to children. But the twist, and it is a massive one in the source material we've pulled, is that the Lego Batman movie is arguably the most psychologically accurate Batman film ever made.
That is a huge claim. We've had the Nolan masterpieces, the gritty Snyderverse, the gothic Burton films. You're telling me the one with the plastic toys is the deep one?
That is the argument. While the live-action films focus on the cool factor or the external conflict, this movie actually pops the hood and looks at the internal mechanism of Bruce Wayne. It analyzes his psyche through a very specific clinical lens: avoidant attachment.
So, our mission today is to look at this brooding Batman bunny over here in our simulation. He's standing on a neon gargoyle, cape flapping in the rain, looking down at this city of stuffed animals. We need to understand why he is the way he is.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
We're going to look at his rogues gallery, not just as bad guys to punch, but as a dysfunctional relationship system.
It's a system designed to keep him safe from the one thing he fears more than a clown with a nuclear bomb:
vulnerability.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yep.
I want to set the first scene in our simulation to really see this dynamic. We have our Batman bunny on the roof, looking stoic. And down below on the wet pavement, we have the Joker bunny. He's chaotic. Maybe he has some mismatched green patches stitched onto his purple fabric. He's waving his arms well, his paws. This is the opening of the movie. The Joker is demanding to be acknowledged. He is screaming, "I am your greatest enemy."
He practically wants a certificate of authenticity. He wants the label. He wants the validation of the relationship. And what does the Batman bunny say? He coldly, flat out refuses. He delivers the line that really anchors this whole diagnosis. He looks down and says, "I like to fight around."
I like to fight around. In the theater, everyone laughs. It's a joke. It's a play on sleeping around. But clinically, that is the definitive description of the avoidant attachment style.
Before we go further, we should probably clarify what avoidant attachment actually means for anyone who hasn't, spent years in therapy. It's not just being a loner.
Right? No. It's much deeper than just preferring solitude. Attachment theory basically categorizes how we relate to others based on how we were treated as children or how we experienced early trauma. An avoidant person equates intimacy with a loss of independence.
Okay.
They crave connection because they're human, or in this case, a sentient stuffed bunny, but they are terrified of the dependency that comes with it. So they build walls that keep things superficial.
So when he says, "I like to fight around," he's basically saying, "I do not do exclusivity."
Exactly. Commitment requires you to be vulnerable. It requires you to say, "You matter to me." And for Batman, trust is a dangerous currency. As the source material puts it so perfectly, trust was murdered in an alley when he was 8.
That brings us back to the visual of these bunnies being stitched together. I mean, it's almost too perfect a metaphor. Our Batman bunny has stitched himself up so tight to prevent falling apart again.
Think about the nervous system logic here. It's a survival mechanism. If you never label a relationship, even a relationship with a nemesis, as serious, then you can't be devastated when it ends.
Oh, right.
If Joker is just some guy I fight sometimes, then Joker leaving or Joker dying shouldn't hurt It is preemptive devaluation as a form of protection.
It's emotional hedging. It's like saying, you can't fire me, I quit, but applied to all of your feelings.
That's it exactly. He is protecting himself from caring about the Joker by refusing to name what they have. But the source points out that this protection has a high cost. It means he never experiences the depth of connection he is actually already in. He's lying to himself.
And this leads us directly into this really fascinating idea of reframing the villains. In this cyberpunk city of ours, I want you to imagine a hologram network lighting up in the sky. It connects the Batman bunny on the roof to the Joker bunny in the street to a Catwoman bunny jumping across a roof and all the others. The source argues these aren't just obstacles to be cleared. This is a polycule.
Polycule. Now, that is a term usually reserved for polyamorous relationship structures, a network of connected romantic partners. Applying it to Batman is bold, but when you look at the dynamics in the movie, it fits the psychology perfectly.
It sounds funny to call the rogues gallery a polycule, but let's break down the roles. We have the Joker. In this relationship dynamic, what is he?
The Joker represents the anxious partner. He is the one down there yelling, "There is no us," implies there could be an us. He wants the words. He wants the exclusivity. He's demonstrating the classic anxious avoidant trap.
That's a classic toxic dynamic, right? The anxious person chases, which makes the avoidant person run, which makes the anxious person chase harder.
Exactly. The Joker has been putting in the work. He plans the schemes. He shows up night after night. He is investing in the relationship. And Batman won't even give him the dignity of a title.
Wow.
Joker's devastation in that opening scene isn't about losing a fight. It's the devastation of a partner who is doing all the emotional labor and just being completely ignored.
And then you have Catwoman. In our Stitched Bunny world, she's the one he almost lets in. She offers actual romantic possibility.
Right, but because she offers real intimacy, she's almost more dangerous to his psychological defenses than the Joker is.
Then the other villains, the Riddler, Bane, the Condiment King.
They are collectively the partners he fights around with. They are the casual flings, the ones that don't mean anything, used to distract from the serious relationship he's avoiding.
But this raises a question. Why does he do it? If he wants to be the solo vigilante, why engage with this massive network of colorful characters every night? Why not just stop crime efficiently and go home? Why the pageantry?
Because he doesn't actually want to be alone. That's the tragedy of the Stitched Bunny. He needs connection. But he needs a connection that is safe. The source makes this brilliant point. For Batman, the fighting is the intimacy.
Combat as intimacy, that's a heavy concept.
Think about it.
Huh?
Combat is a form of intimacy he can control. It's physical, it's intense, it requires 100% of your attention. You are locked in a dance with another person. But, and this is the key, it doesn't require you to drop your armor.
Oh, wow.
You don't have to talk about your feelings while you're punching Bane.
That is, wow. Okay, so punching the Joker is the closest he can get to holding hands without having a panic attack.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
It satisfies the biological need for contact and interaction without triggering the psychological fear of vulnerability. He gets the adrenaline of connection without the risk of rejection.
Let's move to another scene in our simulation because this one is where the sad bunny vibe really kicks in. We leave the rain-slicked streets and we go inside. We are in a massive neon-lit mansion. It's cavernous, it's empty. And there, sitting at a ridiculously long table, is our Batman bunny.
Eating lobster thermidor.
Alone. And watching Jerry Maguire.
It's such a great scene. He's laughing at the "you complete me" line, but it's this hollow, mocking laugh. He's trying to convince himself it's stupid. But there's one detail the source highlights here that I absolutely love. Batman mentions offhand, "I have abs I've never even seen."
I laughed out loud at that line in the movie. It's just such a flex. But you're telling me that's not just a joke.
It's a joke, but it's a symptom. This is where we need to talk about hypercompetence as a trauma response.
Wait, how is being good at everything a trauma response? I thought that was just being a superhero. Isn't the point of Batman that he's the peak of human achievement?
He is, but you have to ask yourself why. Look at the Batcave in our simulation here. The vehicles, the martial arts mastery, the contingency plans for every possible scenario, the 9 distinct types of shark repellent. These are monuments to the idea that he doesn't need anyone.
I see. If I can do everything myself, I never have to ask for help.
Exactly. For the avoidant personality, dependency is viewed as weakness. If you are perfect, you are safe. If you have a gadget for everything, you never have to rely on another human being. The argument here is that the abs you've never seen represent the self you've never known.
That's poetic. but so tragic. He has spent so much time building this armor, physical and emotional, that he's become a stranger to himself.
He's optimized his life to be impressive to observe, but completely empty to inhabit. He's a sculpture, not a person.
And that links back to the stitched bunny visual. He's stitched so tight, the stuffing is compressed. He's hard to the touch.
That's a powerful way to put it. And it's the trap of the avoidant personality. You become excellent at everything except connection. You build a life that looks successful, the mansion, the lobster, the fame, but inside that mansion, you are profoundly alone.
And he can't even admit it. That's the running joke in the movie, right? There's this language block. He physically cannot say basic relational words.
Played for laughs perfectly.
Huh.
He tries to say, "I'm sorry," or "I need you" to Alfred, and he literally chokes. The bunny stammers, his face contorts, the stitches look like they're about to pop.
Yeah.
But again, clinically accurate.
How does that happen? How do you lose the physical ability to speak your own reality?
It starts in childhood. Children with unavailable or dismissive caregivers learn quickly that expressing needs leads to rejection. So to survive, they stop expressing them. Eventually, they suppress them so deeply, they stop even feeling them consciously.
But here's the thing. Batman's parents weren't dismissive. They loved him. They were murdered.
Right, and that creates a specific violent kind of trauma. The message his 8-year-old nervous system received, the bunny origin story, if you will, wasn't just don't ask for things. It was people you love die violently.
Oof. Yeah, the alleyway.
So the lesson etched into his brain is don't love, don't need, maintain the fiction of the lone wolf. Because if you admit you need someone, if you let Alfred or Robin or Batgirl in, you're just handing fate a weapon to destroy you all over again.
So when he's engaging in that language block, he's not just being stubborn, he's surviving.
He is maintaining the only safety he knows. If I don't say I need you, then your presence here is just incidental. It's not essential. And if it's not essential, I can survive losing you.
This brings us to the climax of the movie. And what I love about this analysis is that it points out the climax isn't really the big fight scene with the Phantom Zone villains. I mean, there are explosions in our Neon City, sure, but the emotional climax, the turning point, is a commitment.
It's the moment the Batman bunny finally speaks the truth.
He says, "I was afraid of being part of a family again."
That line is everything. It cracks the code. It diagnoses the fear underneath all that independence. We usually see Batman as this stoic, cool figure who works alone because he's too focused on the mission.
Too cool for friends.
Right. But this line reveals that I work alone actually means I am terrified of watching you die.
It's the difference between strength and fear. We mistake his isolation for strength, but it's actually a fear response.
And the movie takes a radical stance here. It says that his fear is valid, losing people is terrible, the pain of grief is real, but the isolation is not noble. It's a slow death by disconnection.
I'm visualizing our Batman bunny now in the simulation. He's looking at Robin Bunny and Alfred Bunny, and he's finally loosening those stitches. He's been holding himself together so tightly, but to save the city and himself, he has to let the stuffing show a little bit. He has to link arms with the other bunnies.
He has to let the others in. He has to form a literal human chain or bunny chain to save the city. It's a not-so-subtle metaphor. We cannot hold the world together alone. The armor that protected him is now the thing trapping him, and he has to take it off.
This raises a big question for me. We've had the Nolan movies, which were masterpieces of cinema. We've had the Snyder movies, the classic Burton ones. Why did it take a Lego movie to nail this? Why did a comedy about toys work where the serious films failed to diagnose this character?
It's the genre advantage. And it's about what the filmmakers are prioritizing. Serious adaptations are heavily invested in Batman being cool. They need him to be the badass. They aestheticize the dysfunction.
Aestheticize the dysfunction. That's a good phrase. Break that down for me.
In a serious movie, the brooding silence is presented as strength. The lighting makes him look majestic when he's standing alone on a gargoyle. The isolation is presented as a necessary, almost monk-like sacrifice for the greater good. We are meant to admire it.
Right. We watch Christian Bale sitting alone in his penthouse and we think, wow, the burden he carries. We don't think this guy needs therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the Lego Batman movie, being a comedy, is allowed to say the quiet part loud. It's the emperor has no clothes moment.
It can look at this armored billionaire and say, hey, this guy is a lonely weirdo who microwaves lobster.
It strips away the cool filter. It shows that the hyper-independence is actually kind of pathetic. It's maladaptive.
It mocks him, but it feels
Threaded.
affectionate mockery. Doesn't feel mean-spirited.
No, and that's key. The source notes that the movie works because it loves Batman while clearly seeing him. It sees the absurdity and the tragedy simultaneously. It doesn't have to pretend that his coping mechanisms are virtues. It can show them as the bad habits they are.
It's really interesting that by making him a toy, they made him more human.
By stripping away the need for realism and grit, they got to the emotional reality. Sometimes you need a caricature to see the truth clearly.
So we've gone from the rain-slicked streets to the empty mansion, and now we're seeing the resolution. The Batman bunny is sitting in the rain, but the neon lights are flickering off. The sun is coming up in our simulation. He's not alone anymore. He's surrounded by this polycule of chaotic, stitched-together friends. Joker, Robin, Batgirl, Alfred.
The darkness isn't a superpower. That's the takeaway. It's a coping mechanism that calcified into a lifestyle. And he's finally starting to chip that calcification away.
It really makes you rethink the character. But more than that, and here's where I want to turn it to you, the listener. We've been talking about Batman, and we've been using these stitched bunnies as metaphors, but we're also talking about us.
We are. Because while we aren't billionaire vigilantes fighting crime in Gotham, that avoidant logic is very, very common.
It's the logic of, I'll handle it myself.
That's the logic of invulnerability.
So here is a provocative thought for you to mull over as you leave our cyberpunk simulation today. Where in your own life are you confusing hypercompetence or independence with a fear of being seen?
Are you polishing your armor, or your abs, or your resume, or your wit just to prove you don't need anyone? Are you building a bat cave of skills so you never have to rely on a partner?
Are you fighting around with your problems or your relationships because actually committing to them feels too dangerous? Are you keeping people at arm's length, labeling them as just friends or just for now, to preempt the pain of them leaving?
Because as we learned today, the armor might keep you safe, but it also keeps you hungry.
And nobody wants to eat lobster thermidor alone forever, even if you have abs you've never seen.
Especially then.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We'll see you next time.